Okay, and we are live. It is 1:05. We're just getting started here for the Joint Force Protection track. Apologize for the last minute deletion of one of our other presenters last night. So if you guys were hanging around, you saw me talking a little bit about trade wind, but now it's all about Swain Techs. And our two presenters this morning or this afternoon, depending on where you are Mr. Manuel Trujillo and Mr. Joe Foley. So gentlemen, take it away, knock 'em dead.
Thank you, Dave, and thanks everybody for joining. It's truly an honor to be here with you. We're going to give you a brief overview of our kind of solution, a little tiny bit of background about Swain Techs and where we're applying artificial intelligence. And after this session, I understand we won't have Q&A in the live system to be respectful, but hopefully we'll have your contact information and we can have a follow-up just to make sure there is some areas that we may be able to provide value in the future. So with that in mind, I'm sharing the screen, very focused for the Navy team and the participants here on the call. And we have some level of expertise in areas that we want to share with you. Just briefly about Swain Techs, it's just one slide about us. It was founded in 1999, over 20 years, with CMMI Level 3, Development Services, ISO 9001, small disadvantaged business. And we are really passionate to work with the federal government, smart, efficient solutions. So we're a system integrator, a small business with core capabilities, intelligent automation. This is the focus of this conversation, with past performance in artificial intelligence, automated category management, RPA, case management, hypercomputing, and BI. We also have a group that develops application development, integration, and enterprise management services. With that in mind, we are joined here by Joe Foley. Go ahead, Joe, with your little bit of background.
Hey, good morning or good afternoon, everyone. I appreciate your time. I am not a technical person. I'm a business person. I'm an acquisition person. I had 34 years in the United States Navy. So I worked at NAVSUP, I worked at NAVAIR, I worked at NAVSEA. I was chief of contracts at NAVSEA for the Naval Surface Warfare Center out of Carter Rock, Maryland, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and 7 other places around the universe. And then I was the operations director. I retired after 34 years of service, and I've been with Swain Techs for the last 5 years. And we are, if you saw the session with the keynote speakers today, including Dave and Margaret and Brett, they talked about that small company that relatively unknown and what they're doing in AI. That could be Swain Techs, right? We're a small, relatively unknown organization. We're doing some great work at HHS in artificial intelligence. And I started looking at it and saying, why can't we take that across to the other services, right? There's some value in what we're doing there, and it works out great. There was some discussion this morning about, almost like AI is not a solution you take out of the box and you apply it across the board. It applies to each individual programs. So where we've been using it is in the acquisition world, in category management at HHS. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and what we do. And we think that's very applicable to what the Navy does. When I was chief of contracts, we did about $1 billion worth of service contracting every year. And I had trouble getting my finger on, how much do we pay for this kind of service? Or how do I compare this type of engineering services to a different type of engineering services? So we think using artificial intelligence and ingesting that data, you're going to get some results that are only going to save money and reduce time and improve the way you do business. So Manny's going to go and talk about what specifically we're doing at HHS, and then we'll come back and wrap that up to say how that might be applicable for the Navy.
Yep. For background, we have been working with the Navy in NAVAIR and NAVSA for the last 9 years now. We started doing modern simulation, now doing some IT logistics, have to optimize some systems. So we definitely had the background in Navy with the help of Joe expertise. We have a past performer in the Department of Human Health Service. I will be talking more about it, but also in U.S. Patent and Trade Office, Department of Homeland Security, Defense Logistics Agency, and JPL. So for what we're doing in HHS is very exciting. HHS spent around over $35 billion annually with over 100,000 contracts, and we ingest in different formats, in document, PDF, images, Excel, CVS, contracts, PWS, SOWs, proposals, and a spreadsheet, and start training the model through AI, machine learning, natural language, inferential modeling, and true understanding of the and gaining a true understanding of the parts purchase. We can add up to 200 different variables to help us navigate and create that data lake and that information and train the model that can start giving an amazing information. We use this model also in COVID. It was amazing, and we were surprised how effective after you train it becomes. This is a quick sample that we just made up for sensitivity issues, but it is over 100,000 contracts. It's hard to have a single contract officer start making sense of them. But with our power, instead taking months for that person trying to find the right information, all these silos, we were able to do it some searches and provide guidance and help the contract officers in major contract vehicles. And we see differences, the low price, high price difference, and also not only just in the cost, but transportation time, and many other variables that are relevant to the SMEs. So at the beginning, the quality of the output, of course, is very low. It's like in mature child that we're training. But at the end, we were getting 80, sometimes 90% accuracy levels. And we can, in this particular example, we can show the particular potential savings of how many equipment they buy or license, or this could be applied to professional services, nurses, or IT people. And we can show the variance, the potential savings if all the purchases were done through a better negotiated price, and it shows the total value. So that's kind of the high level. We have used hypercomputing to accelerate the process using open APIs, open HPC platforms, and we were able to expedite this by 5 times. So it's a model that is trained, in particular in the category management, but it's evolving to doing a market research and other elements. So what we see here is that with this experience, we can expand into some potential service within Navy service contracting data and achieve similar results for IT services, engineering services, professional services, cyber services, and some predictive analytics. In some case, a particular case, to decrease not fault found. So go ahead, Joe.
So, so I guess when I was chief of contracts with the Navy organizations, frequently if you buy a hardware item, you're going to have a part number, you're going to have a national stock number, you're going to get history on it. And whenever we had services done, you would come a little bit unglued, right? Somebody buys the same service in San Diego, somebody buys the same service in the Northeast United States. Well, how good would it be to be able to pull that data together and find out, are there similarities? Are there differences? What do we call one thing in one place? What do we call it somewhere else? How much do we spend for that thing? How long should it take us to do it? So there's, there could be a terrific use case for that information and that data. So we're finding that HHS, when you take all that data from around the universe and you pull it together and you put it together, suddenly there's that aha moment. Wow, like, okay, nursing service is not a nursing. There's a registered nurse. There's a practical nurse, there's a home healthcare nurse. They're different categories. So using artificial intelligence and machine learning, it's going to figure that out for you. It's going to put it into buckets. Now you're going to be able to collude around a certain point of how much should that cost? How much should we pay for that in this particular location, right? So then you put those kinds of information in the hands of a contracting officer, and you're going to get some really great results, right? So for Navy contracting, you buy IT services, engineering services, professional services, cyber services. What kind of cyber services are you talking about, right? Are you talking about penetration testing? Are you talking about just normal blocking and tackling? Are you talking about cyber hygiene? So again, it'll take that data, it'll sort it for you, it'll put it into buckets. You'll be able to look at those categories. You'll be able to come put your arms around pricing and that kind of stuff. So that's where we think it's got a applicability, and again, we're using it with great effect in health and human services, and we believe we can do that in the Navy.
That's great. Thanks, Joe. So another area where we find is also with some solutions, some partners that we have, some predictive analytics to decrease not fault found. We have seen in the commercial area, airlines, they can save over $100 million because not fault found sometimes is 50-80% that really is not fault found NFF, But if you can prevent that and decrease at 50% of that, that's a significant time, but also fleet readiness. So we believe it has an application in the fleet for the Navy. If we can have a positive impact of, don't say cut it by half, but 1% or 5% to increase that and minimize the NFF, we believe there will be first operational cost avoidance, but second, increase that percentage of fleet readiness to helping the mission to be ready to go anywhere in the world to help the mission. So that's an area where we can help and provide, combining these algorithms that we develop, plus with additional partnerships to help on these areas. So those are the focus where we have and the expertise that we can bring to the table. Go ahead, Joe.
So we've been talking to different program offices, to find out where their hard spots are and areas where they could use some help. And almost all of them, to an organization, says the same thing, right? We struggle with predictive analytics. We struggle with trying to figure out when something's going to break and make sure we've got the right thing there. So, and we've had recent conversations with the Defense Logistics Agency over the same thing, right? They all seem to be interested in it. So we need to figure out how to land that. And I think if we were able to do a small pilot case with somebody on that, where we can take the data and again, it's going to be failure data, it's going to be repair and maintenance data, and it's going to be pulled from different sources, put together on a dashboard, so that we can assist with the prediction of that. It's going to be, it's going to be very interesting and a good thing to do. So again, we have been talking to some program offices. They all seem interested in it. But we haven't been able to put our arms around a case that we might be able to do. And again, we could certainly start small on that, right? So take a particular program, take a particular subset of items, take a troubling set of items, and then and take that data, put it together, put it on a dashboard, and be able to demonstrate how that's going to save them money down the road.
Thanks, Joe. I think with that, we cover. I know we don't have Q&A time, but we are very excited to have this opportunity to speak with you. Hopefully, we can have follow-up. If there is interest on the 10 people 12 people that stay with us, is truly valuable, and look forward to have the opportunity to have an interaction, have a dialogue, and help answer any questions, and hopefully help on the prototype using this vehicle from Tradewin. Go ahead, Dave.
No, gentlemen, thanks so much. I'm not here to cut you off. I do want to make sure that for those who are attending this session in the room, we will be providing Manny and Joe with a report of who attended. So don't be surprised if you get direct engagement from them, and feel free to engage at that point in whatever manner is applicable. As we mentioned at the start of the entire event, this is all competition eligible, so we want to make sure that we're crossing all the T's and dotting all the right I's. So gentlemen, with that, thank you for your participation.
Thank you, Dave, and we'll give you 3 minutes back to your life.
I appreciate that. A bio break is overdue.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dave. Thanks, everybody, for joining.
Thanks, everyone, and hang around. We'll have the next one coming up here in just a few short minutes, starting at 1:30. Thank you.
Thank you.